Fellas, I've been married for over a year and I've been with my woman for 2 years. And while I have a really, really happy relationship, it wasn't always that way. I made some critical mistakes throughout my life that nearly destroyed my marriage and destroyed my relationship. And we have a beautiful thing, but if you don't go about it the right way, it could be destroyed before it even starts. And I know if you're someone watching this video and you're constantly stuck in relationships that seem to just crumble away and disappear, I'm gonna go through a couple of things that I learned to fix that issue. So we're gonna go from being a down bad relationship to having a really wonderful, thriving, happy relationship. So if you're always fighting with your girl a lot, or you feel like roommates, or you feel like she's possibly texting other guys or giving other guys attention, or she's not 100% committed to you, there's either one or two things that will happen in that situation. Either one, there's gonna be some mistakes that you're making that if you correct them will fix the relationship, or two, you guys just might not be meant to be and you might need to split. Hopefully that's not what happens, but I can at least help you go through the signs that you would need to know in order to make a accurate decision. And this could possibly save you years of your life, because there's not a bigger mistake in the entire world than getting committed with the wrong woman. So if you're watching this and your relationship is just kind of bad, what I would recommend is to take a couple of these points that I'm going to show you and apply them to your relationship to the best that you possibly can, and just work and work and work and work towards making the relationship good. And if it doesn't work, then you can just let go, knowing in your heart that you did the best that you could. So the first mistake that you make, or that you could be making, is you're not giving your wife a stage. If you're not giving your wife a stage, then you're setting yourself up for a lot of fighting and for a lot of conflict. Now, if you're like, James, what the hell are you talking about? Give your girl a stage. Like, she's not an actor. Like, I know. But I learned this from the book called The Way of the Superior Man by David Dita. And if you've never read that book before, that is probably the one book that changed my life for relationships. So that's some free game right there. Read that book. But there's a chapter in there that talks about giving your woman a stage. So essentially what that means is when you give your woman a stage and you give her a platform, what that means is you allow her to express herself freely. If you can allow your woman to express herself freely, this will actually solve a lot of problems in your relationship, because I bet you a lot of your fights start when you listen to your woman and you think she's being a bitch, and you think she's complaining and she's being a whiner and a complainer. But what that actually shows is that you are unable to handle a woman's truest expressions. Because while society paints women as dainty, delicate little creatures, they're actually killers. And I don't mean that like in a bad way or to be derogatory towards women or anything like that. But what I mean is that if you are not careful, if you don't know exactly what to do, a woman's words will demolish you. Because I've trained myself through mentorship, through my own experience, through applied knowledge and research. My wife can say things that don't hurt me. And the reason why is because I'm not taking it as personal. So for example, my wife will have fits of complaining, or times when she seems like she's really unhappy. You know, in the same day, I've had good times, and then I've had my woman, say that she hates her life. And so she's gone on these times where she expresses unhappiness in her life. But what that really is it's a test to see if I'm going to reciprocate those negative feelings. Because when your woman expresses negative feelings towards you, for example, that she's uncomfortable with something or she hates her life, it's not meant for you to just like immediately solve the problem or to try to hold her accountable for complaining or anything like that. But what it actually means is it's an opportunity for you to absorb that, because as men, we can handle more emotion. So when our woman says, this, that, and the third, that she hates her life and that she hates you and she doesn't want to be with this relationship anymore, this isn't to say, oh, well, this is why I hate you, you're such a bitch, blah, 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 blah. That's like one of the number one ways to start an argument, is when your woman complains about something like mundane and it pisses you off or puts you in a bad mood, I guarantee you if you changed your mindset towards this, your woman would complain a lot less. When your woman complains, the next time I just want you to try this, right? The next time that your woman will get upset about something or start complaining, just tell her like, look, I love you. I want to solve the problem. I want to make us feel good. What can I do? You know, do you want to go out? Can we go and watch your favorite movie? Can I rub your feet? Could you imagine being the kind of man that could get yelled at by your woman and you can just say, baby, I love you. Let me kiss your feet. It's going to actually confuse her a little bit because she's so used to lower men getting pissed off at that. Because internally, women want a stage and they want a tussle. They want to fight. But it's not a fight to try and rip and divide, but it's to bring out your passion. It's to bring out your love, because a lot of times women will do that when there's a lack of love and a lack of passion in a relationship. So if you notice a parallel between when there's not a lot of love and passion to when there's a lot of fighting and arguing, those levels are usually the same, you know? If there's a lot of, or not the same, but usually like not matching up. So if there's a lot of passion and a lot of love, there's not a lot of fighting and vice versa. So we can flip the script by initiating passion through her negative moments. This is actually genius because it actually causes you to reevaluate how normal people handle relationships, because we're not trying to be normal. We're trying to be exceptional men at handling our love and our relationships. If you do this, you will have a happy marriage. I am personally, personal, whatever you call it, I'm a personal example of this. Another thing that if you can fix this is probably killing your relationship as well. You've lost your edge as a man. So when you've probably first started dating your woman, she probably really was attracted to you deeply. Most likely it was because there was some kind of like edge. There was some kind of thing that attracted her to you. And more than likely, if you go down the line long enough in a relationship, you're not going to have that same thing that attracted her to you. And that's where a lot of relationships fall off. So a lot of times guys will be caught in the cycle of, you know, they're single, they're on their own, they're doing their own thing, they're confident, they're at the bars, they're at the clubs, they're talking to girls, they're being charismatic, they're being confident, they're working on themselves, right? You're hitting the gym, you're a lot more focused because you don't have anybody that's like taking away from your time. And then your woman comes into your life, and for a little while it's really good, and you're spending a lot of time together, and you're going out to eat together, and you're getting sweet treats, and then your wife at 10 p.m. is like, baby, please, can we go to Crumble Cookie? And then you go take her to Crumble Cookie, and you eat the fucking 2,000 calorie cookie, right? And before you know it, you've gained 30 pounds, and then now she won't have sex with you because you're overweight, and then she dumps you. That's like the sad reality for a lot of men. And women don't do this intentionally. Like, she's not trying to trap you into being the worst version of yourself, but she genuinely just wants love and intentional time. But your job as a man is to set the boundaries, is to set the tone for the relationship. Your woman is waiting for you to set the tone for the relationship, because a lot of times if she's fighting with you a lot, if she's treating you like a roommate, not like a lover, a lot of times the problem isn't her, but it's actually you. And that might sound ironic because she's probably the one starting the arguments, but it's really you. You're the problem. And I hate to say that because I don't want to absolve responsibility from women that are toxic and abusive. And like, there's definitely women like that out there. But what I'm saying is, if you can do your part to the best of your ability, but then she says things that are genuinely abusive and hurtful and hateful to you, then don't feel bad about walking away from that. But in this context, if you can just understand that if you can stay on top of your game and not lose your edge, that will keep that fire and that attraction towards your woman. If you can make your time a bit more scarce and not freely available whenever, this will actually help your relationship a lot. Because I remember back when I first was getting into the relationship with my wife, I was going down that same path where we would spend a lot of time together. At the beginning, we were spending all day, every day together. We'd go out to eat, which I was spending money I didn't have. I didn't have 2 nickels to rub together when I met her, but somehow I always had money to take her out, right? Not saving, not doing nothing, not buying like a good car, not investing, right? I'm just taking her out, not thinking about it, because I wanna entertain her. I wanna show her that I'm a worthy guy. I didn't set healthy boundaries at the beginning. And along the way, we both lost ourselves. And we've come a long way to coming back from that sense. But at a certain point, it nearly broke our relationship, because I remember at a certain point in time where I was so invested into spending time with her that I completely stopped working on myself at all. I gained a lot of weight. I wasn't functioning healthy. Like our sexual attraction and polarity was falling off, and we were starting to drift more into that like kind of roommates thing where we were just becoming agitated with each other, and we were, bickering a little bit more. And that didn't really improve until I took the first step and I took the boundary to say, hey, I'm not going to let it go like this, but I need to improve myself. So when you're in the midst of it, it might seem like the way to fix it is to just throw more attention to her, more gratification towards her. But it's actually the opposite. If you pull back and you focus more on building yourself up, then your woman, if she's a good woman and she's committed to being with you long term, she will follow you. And if she's not the one for you, then she'll walk away, and you're blessed either way, brother. That's what happened. The first option is what happened to me, because we got at a crossroads, and it came to a point where we had to just lock in and just focus on ourselves a little bit. And while we still lived together, we still spent time together, it just wasn't as like intense and all consuming as it was before, because relationships are not supposed to be all consuming. Your woman is not supposed to be the center of your world. And if at one time she was the center of your world and that was never corrected, that's probably a big reason why you're fighting. So right there, those two things, if you can fix those two things, it will go a long way towards fixing your relationships. And if you can take those steps right there and just start with that, it'll go a long way towards not fighting as much, towards more sexual attraction, towards getting into bed and you're genuinely excited to see her, right? It'll go towards more intentional time together, where you don't have that guilty feeling of like you're wasting your time with your wife. By having that mindset of those two things that I discussed before, it will go genuinely a really, really long way. And I wish you the best of luck. Genuinely, it's a hard process sometimes, because it will involve some emotional maturity, and it might involve you taking steps that you've never took before. You might have never made boundaries with people before, especially if you're the kind of guy that just let people walk all over you, or you let other people tell you what to do or set the tone for your life. Being in a serious relationship gives you the opportunity to grow up and become a man. Because I know I didn't become a man until I stood up for myself and I took the time to decide, what do I want for my life, even if that meant losing my woman, even if that meant losing everything. But it showed me that my wife is a good woman, because she wanted to be someone that was committed to herself. She didn't want some guy that was wasting her time, that was wasting his time. She didn't want a guy that didn't have any ambition. And you can differentiate between a good woman and a woman that's going to waste your time by that. If you can stay focused and not give up your boundaries, it'll go a long, long way. So I hope this helps. And I offer one-to-one coaching for guys who are struggling in their relationships and they want to have a more healthy, fulfilling, loving relationship. I can work with you one-to-one and solve any kind of problem that you might have pertaining to your relationships, and I can take you through that transformation. So if you're really struggling and you're looking to just get some advice and invest into a program that will really help you, you want to click on the link in the description below and you can book a call with me. Talk to me one-to-one and I can give you some free game, okay? So click on that link in the description below and I'll catch you in the next one. But I really appreciate your time and thank you for watching. I'll see you later.